The LA Lakers are in a very good spot right now, having themselves one of the best players in the world. So I've decided in today's video, I'm going to be trading every single player on the Los Angeles Lakers roster except for the man himself, Luka Doncic. Right off of the bat, we have ourselves an amazing trade offer from the New York Knicks where we're going to land ourselves Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby in return for LeBron James, Jared Vanderbilt, and this dude right here. I believe around Luka Doncic having good defenders is going to be the key for us winning a championship, so let's go ahead and pull off this first trade. Alright, so I threw in Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Gabe Vincent in Trade Finder, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are down to send us Evan Mobley, the former Defensive Player of the Year. There's no way I'm passing up on this offer. Let's go ahead and pull off this trade. I really like this trade here a lot with the Minnesota Timberwolves. We're going to be sending them DeAndre Ayton, Marcus Smart, Maxi Kleber, and a first round pick. In return, we get ourselves Naz Reid, and we also get Robert Dillingham. He is currently only a 72 overall, but he does end up progressing a ton here in 2K Simulation. So let's go ahead and pull off the third trade of this video. We do currently need ourselves a backup center, so I'm going to pull off this trade with the Phoenix Suns where we get ourselves Mark Williams in return for Dalton Connect and Dean Wade. I did have to include Dean Wade to make the salaries match, so let's go ahead and pull off this trade. The next trade will be for Keon Ellis, who brings perimeter defense and 3-point shooting. We're going to be sending the Sacramento Kings Jake LaRavia. We could use ourselves a backup point guard for this season, especially since Rob Dillingham is only a 72 overall, so Jose Alvarado could play about 10 to 12 minutes being our backup point guard. He brings 3-point shooting and perimeter defense. And now we have two players left to trade, and that's Jackson Hayes and Bronny James Jr. So we're going to be trading them away to the Orlando Magic where we get Noah Penda. I'm not too familiar with his game, but he does have a A- 3-point shot and he's a pretty good defender as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off this trade with the Magic, and we also get ourselves Tyus Jones. Before I give a quick rundown of what the new roster is looking like, please make sure to hit a thumbs up on this video and also subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and it really does support out the channel and video a ton. This is what the new roster will be looking like after trading every single player on the Lakers except for Luka Doncic. In our starting lineup, we have Luka, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Naz Reid, and Evan Mobley. And then off the bench, we have Mark Williams, Noah Penda, Keon Ellis, and Jose Alvarado. I believe we do have a team that can definitely win a championship. Let's simulate the first few games of this video and see how we do. The next game is up against the Toronto Raptors, and we do end up defeating them 139 to 133. And OG had 20 points, 19 from Bridges, 19 from Naz Reid, and an 18-point double-double from Luka Doncic. A lot of our players here were in double-digit scoring. The next game is up against the Denver Nuggets, who we also end up defeating 114 to 106, and Luka Doncic had himself a 34-point triple-double, 24 from Mobley, and 20 from Bridges. I want you guys to comment down below if you think this team would be able to win a championship in real life or not. And now let's take a look at the system proficiency. So we are rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, pace and space under JJ Redick. And I believe that will be the highest starred overall system proficiency. So yeah, we're going to leave it at pace and space. And now I'm going to start simulating here until the trade deadline. And if there's any trades to be made, of course, I'll make sure to stop and show y'all. Since we have below 14 players on our team, we need to sign someone that's currently a free agent. I'm not sure if we're going to have to sign one player or two, but it looks like Malik Beasley is always a free agent and so is Ben Simmons, and we can never go wrong with a elite 3-point shooter. So I'm going to go ahead and sign Malik Beasley on a 1-year contract, which he happily accepts. And it does look like we also need to sign one more player that's free agency. We're still below 14 players. I'm going to go ahead and throw Ben Simmons a 2-year contract. We could possibly use his contract to trade him this coming off season. We are stopped here at the trade deadline, and I was hoping for OG Anunoby to play well with our team, but for some reason he's playing pretty horrible. His 3-point shooting has gone down all the way to 32% and his field goal percentage is rapidly going down. For some reason, OG Anunoby in 2K Simulation has not been playing well at all recently, so I'm going to be trading him away to the Phoenix Suns, where we get ourselves Dillon Brooks and Royce O'Neal in return for OG Anunoby. And after changing Dillon Brooks' position to small forward, he does end up going to an 85 overall, and this season he's playing amazing, averaging 19 points per game, so I'm excited to see how he does with our team. Plus, he's also a really good defender, just like OG Anunoby. And Keon Ellis does want to sign a contract extension with our team, and he only wants a minimum, so I'm going to go ahead and extend him for the next 2 seasons, which he accepts. It looks like that is all we need to do for extensions. At the end of this season, Nikola Jokic goes on to win MVP, Cooper Flag Rookie of the Year, Darren Sharp, 6th Man, Victor Wembanyama, Defensive Player, Buzelis Most Improved, Maxey Clutch Player, and Mike Brown wins Coach of the Year, and we end up winning Executive of the Year. We do get ourselves Luka Doncic on all NBA first team. Let's see if we have any more selections, and it looks like we don't get Evan Mobley sadly, but that is alright because we do get him on all defensive first team. And it looks like that will be it for awards. We did end this season being the number 3 seed, winning a total of 52 games and losing 30. And before we start simulating the playoffs, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. So of course, the leading scorer on our team was Luka Doncic, averaging 30 points per game, 8 rebounds, 9 assists on 48, 37, 80 shooting splits. Then we had Evan Mobley, who was averaging 18 points per game, as well as 1 steal and 2 blocks. We had Dillon Brooks averaging 17, 17 from Bridges, 15 from Naz Reid, and 12 points per game from Mark Williams as our 6th man. In the first round of the playoffs, we will be taking on Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs, who have themselves in their starting lineup De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, and Victor Wembanyama, and they do have Dylan Harper coming off of their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will end up going to us, and Naz Reid with 24 points. Let's go. 20 from Bridges, and Luka Doncic was 1 assist shy of a triple-double. We also end up winning game 2, Luka with 26, 9, and 15, Brooks with 23, and Bridges with 20. So far we've been doing really well here. And we also end up winning game 3. Luka with 31, 8, and 13, Evan Mobley with 24 and 12, as well as 2 steals and 5 blocks. All we gotta do now is win 1 more game, and then we're going to the next round, and we end up sweeping the Defensive Player of the Year Victor Wembanyama and the San Antonio Spurs. And it looks like Evan Mobley played really well defense here on Wemby, holding him to 29% from the 3-point line and only 45% from the field. Luka Doncic had a 26-point triple-double, Brooks with 26, 22 from Naz Reid, and 21 from O'Neal coming off of our bench unit. Just like that, we're in the second round, going to be taking on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. In the Nuggets starting lineup, they have themselves Jamal Murray, Tim Hardaway Jr., Peyton Watson, Aaron Gordon, and Nikola Jokic. And off their bench, they do have Cam Johnson, Christian Brown, and Jonas Valanciunas. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will end up going to us, and Bridges dropped 39 points. The Don with a 28-point triple-double and 26 from Dillon Brooks, who so far here in the playoffs is averaging 20 points per game on 60, 50, 84 shooting splits. Let's see if we can also win the next game, and we do end up losing sadly by 16 points here. Luka played amazing, but our defense was not all there. Game 3 will also end up going to the Denver Nuggets, and we allowed them to score 155 points. I definitely need to come up with a defensive coach game plan, then we'll advance to game 4. I've come up with a pretty good defensive coach game plan. Hopefully that helps us win these next few games. We won't have home court advantage for this game. The Nuggets do. Let's see if we can go out there and secure this win. And we do end up winning, let's go, by almost 30 points, and our defense was on point, so clearly the defensive coach game plan has worked. Luka had a 40-point double-double, 26 from Bridges, and 26 from Evan Mobley. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Hopefully we're also able to win this next game. We do have a home court advantage here. Let's see what happens. So far it's a pretty close battle back and forth, and sadly we end up losing by 2 points. Oh god, we almost had it there, but we blew it in the 4th quarter. Luka Doncic played absolutely amazing, but once again it looks like defense was not all there. We allowed them to score 127 points. I've changed up some shot tendencies. Let's see if that's going to help us secure this win. They are up 3-2, so we have to win this game to push it to a game 7. Let's see what happens. And so far the Nuggets do have the lead, and it looks like they do end up eliminating us here, winning by 5 points. Luka Doncic played amazing, but it looks like our defense was really awful here against the Denver Nuggets. We allowed them to score 138 points. Bridges had 29, 22 from Mark Williams, but it does look like we need to upgrade our defense this coming off season. Let's see who's going to go on to win the NBA championship, and it will be the OKC Thunder taking on the Orlando Magic, and the Magic go on to win with Paolo Banchero winning Finals MVP. Here are the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 10 games, and in those 10 games, Luka Doncic was averaging 30 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 12 assists. And honestly, our whole starting lineup was amazing. All 5 of our players were shooting about 50% from the field. What made us lose that series to the Denver Nuggets was most definitely defense. For team player options, I am going to pick up the team option on Robert Dillingham, and it looks like Jose Alvarado accepts his player option. Do we need to re-sign anyone? So it does look like we need to re-sign Mark Williams, who's currently a free agent, but we should have bird rights on him, so that's not a worry. And yeah, we have bird rights on him. He wants about $10 million. I'm going to try and lower his contract down to $9.75 million annually on a 2-year contract, which he should accept. And yeah, he's most likely going to accept that. I'm not sure if we still have more money to play with. It does look like we could sign a player for $5.6 million. So AJ Mitchell, it looks like he's been waived by the OKC Thunder, and we are able to give him a contract, only paying him $2.85 million annually. So of course I'm going to go ahead and offer him this, and hopefully he accepts. And it looks like AJ Mitchell will be accepting. I also got Luke Dort and Mark Williams. We're probably going to trade away AJ Mitchell. We don't really need him as a backup point guard, but if we do, we could keep him. I guess we'll see. And sadly, we were not able to sign AJ Mitchell. For some reason, it says we don't have the cap space. Let's see. And yeah, we're not able to sign AJ Mitchell, which sucks, but it is what it is. And I signed Ben Simmons for this exact reason. I moved his position from point guard to small forward, where he's jumped up to an 81 overall. Then I threw Ben Simmons and Royce O'Neal in Trade Finder, and the Utah Jazz are offering us Walker Kessler. Kessler is an elite defender, rim protector, rebounder, and he can score when we need him to as well. So I'm going to go ahead and pull off this trade. And now that we got ourselves Walker Kessler, we no longer need Mark Williams, so I'm going to be pulling off this last trade with the Portland Trail Blazers, where we send them Mark Williams and Jose Alvarado. In return, we get ourselves Toumani Camara and also a 2nd round pick. Here we are at the start of this season with our brand new 9-man rotation. In our starting lineup, we're going to have Luka Doncic, Mikal Bridges, Dylan Brooks, Naz Reid, and Evan Mobley. And then off the bench, we have Walker Kessler, Toumani Camara, Lu Dort, and Robert Dillingham. So our starting lineup has stayed the same, but each player coming off of our bench has changed from the previous season. Let's go ahead and simulate the first few games of this season and see how we do. Game number 1 against the Miami Heat, we win 134-107, where Luka had a 25-point triple-double, 21 from Mobley, and 20 from Mikal Bridges. The next game is up against the OKC Thunder, and we also defeat them 146-117. Luka had 43 and 14, 25 from Bridges, and a 21-point double-double from Mobley. And we also go on to defeat Luka Doncic's previous team, the Dallas Mavericks, and we do end up losing to them sadly 108-117. Luka played amazing, but our defense was not all there. And this time around, we're going to be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, pace and space under JJ Redick. Now I'll start simulating here until the trade deadline, and if there's any trades to be made, I'll be stopping and pulling off some trades. I'm stopped here at the trade deadline, and I don't believe I'm going to be pulling off any trades. Our team has been doing pretty well here. We're currently the number 1 seed with 38 wins and only 13 losses. I will look around the league to see if there's any trades we can make to upgrade our bench unit, but if not, I'll see y'all at the end of this season. At the end of this season, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win MVP, Cameron Boozer Rookie of the Year, Murray 6-Man, Wemby also wins Defensive Player, Ivy Most Improved, Stephen Curry Clutch Player of the Year, Mike Brown Coach of the Year, and we end up winning Executive. We do get ourselves Luka Doncic on All NBA First Team, and it looks like we also get Evan Mobley on All NBA Third Team. And Mobley also makes it on All Defensive First Team, and that will be it for awards. We did end this season being the number 2 seed, winning a total of 58 games and losing 24. In the last 10 games of the season, we did start to struggle. As you guys can see there, it says we won 4 of our last 10 games and lost 6. I'm not sure what happened there, but we went on a little bit of a stretch, losing a boatload of games. Let's take a look at the player stats for the regular season. Our leading scorer was Luka Doncic, averaging 28, 8 rebounds, and 11 assists. 18 from Mobley, 18 from Bridges, 15 from Naz Reid, 15 from Dillon Brooks, and 10 from Walker Kessler. In the first round of the playoffs, it looks like we're taking on the Golden State Warriors, who still have themselves Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and they did make some changes to the roster, getting themselves Cameron Johnson. Looks like Andrew Wiggins back with the Warriors, Khalil Ware. This is their bench unit. Let's see how things go here. Game number 1 will end up going to the Warriors. Okay, so they end up defeating us here by 4 points. They were a play-in team, but playoff Jimmy just dropped 30 points on our head. Hopefully we win this next game, and we do end up winning, thankfully, by 21 points. We held them to 99 points, so we need to continue playing defense just like this. Game 3 does end up going to the Golden State Warriors. They defeat us here by 2 points, so the play-in team is pushing us pretty far. Luka had 25, 24 from Brooks, 21 from Mobley, but I definitely need to come up with a defensive coach game plan. Probably having somebody else guard Stephen Curry and Jimmy Butler would be ideal. Alrighty, I've come up with a defensive coach game plan. Let's see what happens here. We'll jump into Simcast. The Warriors will have home court advantage on their side. And so far, it's a pretty close back and forth battle, but they are up by 6 points here with 3:30 remaining. Can we come back is the question. We are pushing back here, and it goes to overtime. Okay, so 5 minutes remaining, overtime, 101. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully, we can start to run away with it, and it looks like that is exactly what we're doing. And we do end up tying up the series. Let's go, 121 to 109. Luka Doncic had a 25-point double-double, 21 from Mobley, and 18 from Naz Reid. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece now. Hopefully we win this next game. We will have home court advantage on our side. And so far we do have the lead, but we're only up by 3 points going into the fourth quarter, and we are starting to run away with it, thankfully, and we do end up winning 138 to 119. Mobley had himself a 33-point double-double, Luka with a 31-point double-double, and Walker Kessler, as our 6-man, drops a 23-point double-double with 16 rebounds. All we gotta do now is win one more game, and then we'll be going to the next round. The Warriors do have home court advantage, and let's see what happens. Pretty close battle so far. They're up by 4 here in the fourth quarter. Can we come back is the question, and it is a really close game, but they are up by 3 points, 120 remaining. We tie up the game and go ahead by 2 points and end up winning by 5. Let's go. So we came back there in the fourth quarter, winning 103 to 98, and Luka Doncic dropped 28, 6, and 14. Mobley with 18, Naz Reid with 14 points and 17 rebounds. Now we're in the second round of the playoffs, taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have themselves DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Rudy Gobert. And this is their bench unit. How is Luka doing so far? So far, he's averaging 26 points per game, 12 assists on 50, 40, 80 shooting splits. Mikal Bridges has been struggling, shooting below 40%, and only 27% from the three-point line. But Dillon Brooks, I'm really happy we traded for him. He's actually playing really, really well. Naz Reid is doing his thing, and so is Evan Mobley. Hopefully we're able to win against the Timberwolves. Game 1 will end up going to us, and the Don drops 44 and 13, and his defense was all there as well. 4 steals and 1 block. Bridges with 26, Mobley with an 18-point double-double. We also end up winning game 2, the Don with a 32-point triple-double. Mobley with 26 and 11, and 19 from Naz Reid. Now it's time for game number 3, which we do sadly end up losing here. They held us 97 points, so they played really well defense on us. And we do end up winning game 4. Let's go. Thankfully, they did not tie up the series, and we won this game by 23 points, where Mobley dropped a 40-point double-double, and the Don with a 36-point double-double. And we do not end up gentleman sweeping them. It does look like it is going to a game 6. Hopefully they don't win this and push to a game 7. Let's see what happens. They do have home court advantage, and they will be pushing it to a game 7. They played amazing defense on us here, sadly. Luka did his thing, but the rest of the team was nowhere to be seen. Game 7, winner go home situation. Let's see what happens here. We'll jump into Simcast, where we will have home court advantage on our side. And so far we are winning this game by quite a bit, and thankfully we do end up winning here in game 7, where Luka had a 23-point triple-double as well as 4 steals, and Mobley dropped 23, 22 from Dillon Brooks. Now we're in the conference finals, going to be taking on the Phoenix Suns, who still have themselves Devin Booker, Jalen Green, OG Anunoby, who we traded for Dillon Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Kaman Maluach. They still have Dalton Connect, Grayson Allen, John Collins also coming off of their bench. Let's see what happens here. Game number 1 will end up going to us, and the Don drops a 47-point triple-double, 4 steals once again. He's been doing really well here defensively and offensively. Bridges with 24, 11, 11, and 11 from Tamani Kamara. Let's go. We also end up winning game 2. This time it's Bridges leading the way, dropping 22, 22 from Naz Reid, and Luka had himself a 16-point, 16 assist double-double. Game 3 will end up going to the Phoenix Suns here, sadly. They played better offense than we did. Luka played amazing, but sadly we still end up losing. We win game 4. Can we end up gentlemen sweeping them? And yes, we can. Just like that, we're in the NBA Finals. Either going to be taking on the Philadelphia 76ers or the Toronto Raptors, and it will be the Toronto Raptors with Scottie Barnes winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP, and Luka Doncic Western Conference Finals MVP, averaging 32, 7, and 12 on 50, 40, 75 shooting splits. And now in the NBA Finals, we're taking on the Toronto Raptors, who have themselves Colin Gillespie, RJ Barrett, Brandon Ingram, Scottie Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl, and this is their bench unit. They were the number 6 seed. Let's see if we're able to defeat them. Game number 1 does go to us, and Luka has 30 points, Mobley with a 19-point double-double. We do end up losing game 2 though. They defeat us here by 4 points. Luka had a triple-double, but he did shoot only 5 of 22. A pretty horrible shooting splits, but that's alright. Hopefully we're able to win this next game, which we do. We held them to 82 points. Holy, our defense is amazing. Luka had a 15-point triple-double. Naz Reid with 20. And we do end up losing the next game, and now they tie up the series. It's at 2-2. Luka had 27, 19 from Naz Reid, but sadly we fall short. I've now come up with the defensive coach game plan, also changed up some player shot tendencies. Hopefully that helps us win this next game, where we do have home court advantage. It looks like we are up by 1, 2:25 remaining. Let's see what happens here. 1 minute remaining, and we do end up winning by 2 points. It looks like one of our players hit a clutch shot to win us that game. And that's exactly what happened. It looks like with 0 seconds remaining, Luka Doncic hit a buzzer beater 2-pointer to win us that game. Let's go. That is what I'm talking about. Let's take a look at the player stats. So Luka had himself a 35-point triple-double, 24 from Naz Reid, and 15 from Mikal Bridges. He is trying to get his shooting splits up compared to how he was playing in the first few rounds. Now all we gotta do is win one more game. The Raptors will have home court advantage here. We do start off the first half really strong. It looks like we do end up winning the Los Angeles Lakers and Luka a championship, where Luka had himself a 33-point triple-double. And just like that, we've won ourselves a championship. Of course, Luka Doncic wins Finals MVP, averaging a 28-point triple-double, 28 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And before I end out this video, let's take a look at what the player stats were looking like. So we played a total of 24 games in the playoffs, and in those 24 games, Luka was averaging 30 points per game, 8 rebounds, 11 assists on 2 steals, and half a block with 50, 40, 80 shooting splits. We had Mobley averaging 17, 16 from Bridges, 15 from Reed, 14 from Dillon Brooks, and a 10-point double-double from Walker Kessler. I'm really happy we went ahead and traded for Dillon Brooks because I believe he helped us a ton here, offensively and defensively. In the NBA Finals, where we played a total of 6 games, Luka was averaging a 28-point triple-double, 17 from Reed, 16 from Bridges, 16 from Brooks, and only 12 points from Evan Mobley. It does look like he was being fouled out, averaging 4 fouls per game, only playing 27 minutes per game. But that's going to be it for today's video. We were able to win Luka a championship after trading every single player on the Lakers roster. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new. It really does support on my video and channel a ton. And click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.